Let me ask you something. You just got paid. What's the first thing you do? Most people check their balances, they feel good for 30 seconds, and then they start spending their money with no plan and no system. By the time the next paycheck comes, they're just wondering where it went. Did you know that most people are living paycheck to paycheck? Not because they don't earn enough, but because nobody ever taught them what to do with their paycheck when they have it. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. So today we are going to go through 5 things you should do every single time your money hits your account. If you build this into a habit, your financial life will look completely different in a year's time from now. So let's get into it. Point number 1, find your financial baseline. This is the very first thing you need to do before everything else. Is just knowing your numbers, not your salary, not your gross pay, your take-home pay. This is actually what lands in your account after taxes or maybe after deduction, and this is the real number that you're going to be working with, and most people are mentally tracking this, and this is the problem. Mental math is not a budget. You need to write it down and you need to see it, because here's the reality. Millions of people are just living paycheck to paycheck. And not because they are broke, but because they don't have a system and they don't have their own baseline. And without a baseline, every financial decision is just a guess. So step 1, know your numbers and know your baseline. Write it down. That's your foundation for everything else. Point number 2, separate your wants and your needs. What are your needs? Now here is where most people get it wrong. They think they know their needs, and then they call everything a need. So let's get clear about this. Your needs are your necessities, the things that keep your life running. And here we are talking about rent, groceries, utilities, internet, insurance, transportation, healthcare. And here we are talking bills that show up whether you like it or not. And here is your target. All of that should be under 50% of your take-home pay. Under 50%. If you're above that, that is the first thing that you should work on. And what are your wants? Everything else is a want. And I want you to really sit with this. Eating out, restaurant, hobbies, night outs, and subscriptions that you forgot that you have, that stuff is not bad, but it needs to live in a completely separate category in your mind and in your budget. You just need to track and name it, because when you see written down numbers, you make better decisions. Now here is something I want you to hear. Your earning potential will always outpace your saving potential. You can only cut so much, but you can always earn more. So don't obsess over cutting once. Work on growing that baseline, and you still need a map, so you need to separate your wants and needs, because without it, you don't have a standing point. Point number 3, build up your emergency fund. And I'm going to show you why you need one. Once you know your numbers and your budget is all mapped out, the next step is always to get an emergency fund. And I know you've heard about this before, but let's talk about what that actually means. Your emergency fund should cover 6 months of your expenses. Not income, but expenses. 6 months of being able to pay your bills if everything went wrong today. And by that I mean like job losses, medical bill, if your car breaks down, if literally your life is happening, that is the money that you use. So where exactly do you put your emergency fund? Your emergency fund should go to a high yield saving account. Not your regular checking account, not under your mattress. It should go to a high yield saving account, because when it's there, it's more liquid and very accessible. And when you need it, you can get it very fast. And where it's sitting in there, you're actually earning an interest for it being there. And that's how emergency funds work when you're sleeping. Point number 4, attack those high interest debt. Now let's talk about something a lot of people avoid. That is debt. There are 2 methods of paying debt, and I'm going to show you how simple you can decide on whatever works for you. Let's say you have 3 debts. Let's play this for the maths. Debt A is $1,500 US. Debt B is $4,800 US, and debt C is $11,000. All right, are we together up to there? Keep those numbers in your head. The first method is called Snowball method. You pay the minimum just of everything, and then you throw every extra dollar at the smallest debt first. So you clear debt A first, then you go to B, and then you go to debt C. The logic is always psychological. Every time you knock out one, you always feel the win. You build a momentum, and that momentum keeps you going. This method is very powerful because motivation is everything when you're paying your debt. You know that? The second method is called Avalanche method. It's the same thing, but then minimum payments on everything, but you attack the highest interest rate first, regardless of the balance size. If you do the math, this saves you more money over time because you're taking away the most expensive debt first. Okay, so this is less interest that adds up and you're already saving a lot of money. So which one should you choose? Choose the one that you feel comfortable with. Most financial advisors will keep telling us out here that the Avalanche method is better because it saves us more money by the end of the day. And they are right. But remember, the Snowball method keeps more people in the game. Because if you quit halfway through, neither the method works. So pick one that keeps you moving. And the best debt payoff method is the one that you actually stick to. So take the rest with a grain of salt. Point number 5, invest your money. And the reason I'm saying this because investing matters a lot. And this is the only one that I really want you to pay attention to because most people don't do it. And this is where your money stops working for a paycheck and starts working for you. Saving is important, but saving alone will not build you wealth. Inflation will eat up your saving over time. So investing is what is going to change the whole game. And I know if you've never invested before, this might sound very complicated. It always sounds like the rich people are the ones only doing it, but it's not only for the rich people. It's for every person, you and me. And the earlier you start, the better. Even those small amounts, they matter a lot, and you can even start that today. So where do you start? Start with a 401k, especially if your employer matches that. The match is always free money. The employer is literally saying, we will add to whatever you put in, so do not leave that money on the table ever. So contribute at least enough to just get your full match, and that is step number 1. Next, you need to open a Roth IRA. You contribute money to that account after your money has already been taxed, and then it grows tax-free. When you retire, you go to pull that money and it will be 0 taxes on it. Now inside this account, you need to invest on something. If you're starting out, just keep it very simple. You do not need to pick an individual stock. You do not need to follow the market every single day. Start with S&P 500 index fund. The S&P 500 tracks the 500 largest companies in the United States, companies like Apple, Google, Amazon, and 499 others. When you invest in an index fund, you're basically investing in one of all that all at once. That is very simple and it's very diversified. And historically, over a long period of time, it has always gone up. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, has said that for most everyday people, a low-cost index fund like S&P 500 is one of the smartest investments you can make. And that tells you everything. You are not trying to build or get rich overnight. You're building wealth slowly, steadily, and very consistently. After you open your 401k, your Roth IRA, and they are well funded, if you have some extra amount of money, you should open a taxable brokerage account. There are no special tax rules on this account, but also no contribution limit. And this is where your investment can go beyond your retirement account caps. Having a taxable brokerage account is the same idea as having a Roth. You just keep it simple and invest on index funds very consistently. Automate everything. This is one of the most important things that I want you to note on this entire video. Setting up automatic transfers is a very good thing, so that every other time you get paid, money is always moving into your saving, your retirement account, or even to your investment, even before you have a chance to even spend it. So when it is automatic, it stops feeling like it's a total sacrifice. It just becomes the system, and the systems are what builds wealth, not the willpower. Let's bring all these together. Every single paycheck, here's your checklist, okay? 1. Know your baseline, your real take-home number. 2. Budget your necessities. Make sure that is under 50%, rent, groceries, utility, insurance, internet, transportation, healthcare, all preferably under 50%. 3. Track your wants separately, be it night out, subscription, restaurant, hobbies. Just name them and just know them. 4. Make sure that you pay minimum debt payments every time with no exceptions, okay? And if you are able to pay debt more than the minimum, the better. 5. Contribute to your emergency fund. Build towards a 6-month of expenses in a high-yield saving account. 6. Invest in your retirement account. 401k being the first one, especially because of the match right there, and then you go to a Roth IRA. 7. Pay off your high-interest debt aggressively, either using the Snowball method or the Avalanche method. 8. Once retirement accounts are fully funded, invest in a taxable brokerage account. 9. Automate all that. Set it, forget it, and let the system run. With those 9 moves and done consistently after every paycheck, you're set for life. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I just shared over here is just for educational purposes. Do your own research. Talk to your professional if you need to talk to one, because everyone's situation is just so different. But there is always one thing I know, and I'm for sure. The people who build wealth are not smarter than you. They just have a system. And now you have one too. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you want me to go deeper in any of these topics, be it investing, debt payoff, budgeting, drop it in the comments. I'll make sure I read every single one. And in this channel, we are building together. My name is Eunice. I'll see you in the next one.